Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Robert at English 360, and here we are checking a work done by a student who's doing a CAE exam. So I hope that you guys are live. I hope I'm live. That's what I wanted to say, and that everything is going according to plan. It seems as though it's working, so let's get on with it. So CAE exam can be quite tough, and in my experience, a lot of students lose marks in their writing exam. They're pretty good in their listening, and they're good. Their reading is English, but the writing is the pain in the neck. We also say pain in the other side of the part of the body that I'm not going to tell you today, but it's on the other side of your body, and it's got two round things. So that's pain in the what you call it. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started, and I'm gonna share my screen. Hopefully I can, and let's get started with the first one, which is a report. So let's just see what it looks like. Let's blow this up. There we go. So you've just completed 6 months in a new job in preparation for a progress meeting. You've been asked to write a report to your manager. So your report should explain what you feel you have achieved in the job so far. Also, let me just turn the music down. I love music, but when it's too loud, it's too loud. There you go. So you should explain what you feel you have achieved in your job so far, and describe any problems you've had, suggest any future. Okay. Training that would be suitable, write your report. So let's get on with it. So this is a sample written by a student, and I'm going to mark it according to the exam criteria, which is the most important thing. If you don't mark it, if you don't analyze your work according to the exam criteria, you're not preparing for the exam, you're preparing for something else. So this is the first part of the report. My job in the company, as requested, I'm writing this report with the aim to highlight the key areas of my 6-month work experience in the advertising sector of this company. Okay, fair enough. The working conditions. So let's just go back to the question and let's see what they ask. Just to remind ourselves, you should explain what you feel you have achieved in the job so far. So that's number one. Describe any, let's just put this down there. Describe any problems you've had, because that's the second thing they want to know. And there's a third thing, and suggest any future training. So in the exam, they want you to come up with answer to these three things in your answer. Yeah, under stress. There we go. So let's see what you feel, any problems you've had, and future training. Okay, the working conditions, achievements and weaknesses. Since my very first day of training in this company, I found atmosphere very inspiring because I immediately realized that I was going to actually practice the job of my dreams, the one I have studied hard for. Okay. During these 6 months, I had the opportunity to express my potential to the fullest, to the fullest. I think we need a comma here. Gaining many useful skills, such as learning how to manage many things together and working in a team. So she's mentioning, so she actually, these things. In fact, one of the aspects of this experience I'm grateful for is that during these months, I've been working with a group of smart and interesting colleagues in the spirit of healthy competition, always helping each other. Okay, so this is the aspect of the experience. Fair enough. So besides all of these pros, the only negative part of this experience was the working schedule, as occasionally we were asked to work 10 hours per day with only 30 minutes. for lunch break, which can be very stressful. 30 minutes is a long time. You've got to work. You're young. Just joking. 15 minutes is enough. So this is an essential part because it replies to the second part of the question. Oops, what am I doing here? Okay, that's fine. I'll just go back. What you feel you have achieved. Okay, so she's answered both these things in the very first paragraph. Okay, so that's good. Because if they're asking you to do something, you've got to answer the question. And suggest any future training. Let's go ahead. Beside all of these pros, the only negative. Okay, this is the negative part. Let's say this is the second part. I think this experience was very helpful for me, and I'd like other young people to have the same opportunity I had. Okay, this is irrelevant. Not needed, but let's see what comes after that. I hope that in acting on the above mentioned suggestions, the company will make the job experience even more positive for future trainees. Okay, where is the third part? Suggest any future training. Okay, so I think the student probably thought that by suggesting that other people should be offered the same experience would be answering this part of the question, suggest any future training. It's not actually answering the question. So let's go to the content. So she covered, let's say, 2 out of 3. So that would be roughly, so she would get about 3 out of 5 for that. Communicate achievement refers to how well you communicate your ideas, and if you hold readers' attention, if the report is easy to read, or is it hard to understand? Does it have a nice flow? Does it make a good impression on the reader? So let's look at it. This is the start. I possibly would have said, or would have added something here, like the report aims to go over, something like report aims to go over the required aspects of the question in a comprehensive way. That would have made it a bit more complete. So let's put it like that. Here are probably it's probably okay. It's not great. It's not like whoa. It's not whoa. No, it's not like that. It's fine. We're always looking to improve. So what I would suggest is to have a very clear section marked. So I'll explain what I mean here. So it holds readers' attention because it talks about things which happen during the work experience, and talks about the negative part. And yeah, I think the communicate achievement is there. So let's say I'm going to be very, very miserably strict with my marking. So organization. With organization, I mean, does a student or does the exam candidate use paragraphing, cohesive devices to reinforce the meaning, to give the report a nice flow? So paragraphing is there, as you can see, and this is nice to see. Remember, you need to use paragraphs if you want to, get good marks. So let me just bring myself into it. I did not know it was like this. Like that. No, that's not good. That's good. Or maybe you prefer that. No, That's fine. Okay. Right. So next thing is organization, and I would say organization, she gets 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 is good. It's not bad. How could she get more? By using cohesive devices. I'll write down here. Language. Does the language reflect a good standard of writing? It does. This is very good. I like that. As requested. Aim to highlight, again, reaching the right level there, because it's all about hitting the right notes. This is really good because it's a long adjective. 6-month work experience. Like that. That's good. Okay, so since my very first day of training in this company, I found atmosphere very inspiring. Okay, this is good. Atmosphere to find something inspiring, because I was actually practice my job. Okay, so probably do my job, or something else, but not practiced. Potential to the fullest. This is very good. Express. I like that. Gaining many useful skills. Okay, I'll let it go. Acquiring skills probably better. Yeah, this is good. This is good because it's using emphasis technique, putting changing the word order to emphasize something. So if you do use emphasis in report, it will get you better marks because it just sounds better. Excellent stuff. This is good. Besides, I think S is missing there. I missed it earlier. You're asked to work 10 hours a day, which can be very stressful. Okay, it's very polite, which is good. Above mentioned suggestions is good. Right, happy language, which is actually, I'll give it 4.5. So final score is out of 20. So 3.5, 4.5 makes 8. So it's 14. So it's 14 out of 20. Need my calculator there. So if I do floating, I'll be done very quickly. Just bear with me. Times 100. So yeah, it's about 70%, isn't it? And I know I didn't need the calculator to do that. It's about 70%. And you need 60% to pass in the CAE exams. This would be a good B. It's getting closer to the C2 level. So that's what you want. You want to be aiming for about 70%. Right, that's one. Let's move on to the next one, which is an essay. Now, an essay requires, I'm afraid, this is, yeah, that's the one. There we go. I'm just gonna blow it up as much as I can. Okay, we had a class discussion about the importance of stories for children. You have made the notes below. Ways in which stories for young children are important: entertainment, education, social values. Some opinion expressed in the discussion. Stories are fun. Stories develop children's vocabulary. Children find out the difference between right and wrong. Write an essay for your tutor discussing 2 of the ways in which stories for young children are important for you. You should explain which you think is important, providing reasons for your options. Okay, by the way, I have checked the word limit on both, and they are well within the word limit, so it's fine. 238, 240 words. So let's see. So basically, we need to go back to the essay and discuss 2 of the ways in which stories are important for you. So So 2 ways. So possibly she's said entertainment, education, or education and social. Let's find out. I'm expecting this to be an introduction, right? There's no title. I like titles, but hey, it doesn't matter if you don't write one. What? You get more marks for writing a title. You don't lose marks, but you get more marks. So storytelling is the oldest form of learning. Okay, it bonded the early human community. Giving children the answers to the biggest questions about creation, life and afterlife. So there is a consensus on the crucial role that stories play in the growth and development of toddlers. Okay. Impressive. Firstly, stories are useful for learning. Hence, it is proven that they are a great way to introduce new words and ideas into child's language. Now, this is a topic sentence, so I'm expecting the rest of the paragraph to follow this line. But no, it's a different idea. Moreover, what's so special about learning through stories is that the process is done in a natural way. There is no actual teaching involved. Good point. Because toddlers widen their vocabulary by simply reading the story. Okay. It goes without saying that one of the main benefits of stories is stimulating kids' fantasy. Fantasy? That's written in the wrong way. Maybe like that. Whether they need read books, whether they read the book themselves or someone reads the stories for them, children tend to identify within the lives of the protagonist and enter in. This is a bit confusing. Enter into the atmosphere of the story. The dynamic especially helps them in a social sense because in this way children experience things as if it really happened to them, learning how to put themselves in other people's shoes and how to act properly. As far as I'm concerned, even if we live in a world which is becoming more and more technological, a smartphone will never replace a good story. For this, is there a dichotomy between smartphone and a good story? For this reason, I think that parents and teachers should insist in reading stories to toddlers. Okay, since this is the best way to enrich their thinking from a very young age. So the essay flows pretty well. Let's see if the content means if she's answered the questions. The question is 2 of the ways. So they're good for learning. Number 1, education. So what's that? Social values? Kids fantasy. Okay. Read the book themselves. Fantasy. She focuses on fantasy. Entertainment. Does that have anything to do with entertainment? Do not know. Well, maybe it's stimulate kids' fantasy. Whether they read the book themselves or someone reads the stories for their children tend to identify within the lives of the protagonist and enter into the atmosphere of the story. This dynamic especially helps them in a social sense because in this way children experiencing it as if they really happened to them, learning how to put themselves in other people's shoes and how to act properly. Okay, so I'm going to give her, for content, 3. Because she gets mixed up. She had to choose either entertainment or social values, not mix them up both. So if we were talking about entertainment, you can talk about stories as having a high value of entertainment because children can get inside the story, imagine it, and have fun. That's the important point here is having fun. Okay. So that's the most important part of the entertainment. If you're talking about social values, right and wrong, that's where you talk about learning how to put themselves in other people's shoes and act properly. That's social part. So I don't think that's appropriate. So we're gonna give her 3.5. Communicative achievement. The first paragraph is wonderful, comes across really nicely. Second one as well. Third one is a bit confusing. Fourth one is okay, so I will give her, let's say, how about a 3.5? She uses it in there, in the third paragraph, she uses it there. So organization is good. Distinct paragraph for distinct things, ideas flow together. She has a lot of, she uses a few discourse markers, discourse linkers, whichever way you say it, whether, like this, whether they read the book for themselves or not. There's a fair use of elision, this dynamic, moreover here. Yeah, these are all good examples of, I'm looking over there because I have a much bigger screen over there. That's why I'm looking, not because there's a film going on over there. So, yeah, even simple words like so, yeah, I would say she's done a good job. She's done a good job here, yes. Organization is definitely a big fat 4. Last one, language. This one's brilliant. This paragraph from language point of view is fantastic. The oldest form of learning, this form of learning is good. How could I probably just underline it maybe? I'll give it a different color this time. Yellow. Bonded. That's a word that not a lot of people use. It's simply just a perfect word here. Giving children answers to the biggest questions about creation. That's just marvelous. It's just wonderful. There's a consensus. This one too is very good. Just literally stands out. This essay to me is one of the better ones I've read over the last few weeks. Great way to introduce new words. It just has a very nice flow. And it just goes to show that if you put a little bit of thinking into it and get your ideas organized, you can really come out with fantastic essays. What's so special about learning? I mean, it's all. I mean, I'll be marking a lot of it yellow. There's no actually. I mean, this one. There's no actual teaching involved. Widen their vocabulary. Good collocations. Good stuff. Goes without saying. Okay. Okay, so she gets this part wrong. It's a bit obscure. Perhaps her language, her L1 is influencing it, but she gets away with it. And then nice end, as far as I'm concerned. She says all this is the general truth, but as far as I'm concerned, this is what I think. A good way to end an essay. Really think so. Okay, insist. I would say insist on. There are mistakes, but they're not impeding. I mean, you read, it has a nice flow, it doesn't really affect your reading, so, good fat 4. So, this is where my maths is put to the test. I used to be good at maths. That's 10, 11, 14 and a half. So, yeah, 14 and a half. Now, I'm being very with my marking. So it's about 75%. Can't remember. About 75%. There you go. So these are 2 samples of CAE writing. Actually, they could even be higher level. So very well done to the student who's done this. So feel proud about yourself. I'm gonna drop a link to this file in the description section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel and like this video if you want to. And I shall see you soon tomorrow morning. There's yet another live show, and hope to catch you then. Bye for now. Have a great evening. Bye now. Bye bye.